She once wore the uniform of a Gulf War soldier, standing strong on battlefields far from home. She faced dangers most of us could never imagine and carried the scars, both visible and hidden, that come with serving in combat. But now, years later, her life was unrecognizable. Instead of the honor and respect she deserved, she found herself working long hours as a waitress in a small-town diner. What hurt the most wasn't the exhausting shifts or the modest pay, it was the constant humiliation she endured from her manager. Before we dive deeper into her incredible story, take a moment to support this channel. If you believe stories like this deserve to be shared, hit the like button and subscribe. Your engagement helps us bring more inspiring content to light. Every day, he found something new to criticize. "You're too slow," he would bark, even as she juggled multiple orders. "You'll never amount to anything," he sneered, ignoring the quiet strength she carried. He treated her like she was worthless, and her coworkers, though sympathetic, were too afraid to stand up for her. Customers barely noticed her, and to most, she was just part of the background. But what they didn't see was the warrior within, the courage, resilience, and discipline forged through years of military service. One fateful night, everything changed. It was a regular evening shift, the diner bustling with its usual crowd. Families chatted over dinner, a group of teenagers laughed in a corner booth, and the manager was, as always, barking orders from behind the counter. She moved swiftly through the room, balancing plates with practiced precision, trying to ignore his cutting remarks. But then, the bell over the door jingled, and the mood shifted instantly. Two men stormed in, their faces obscured by masks, their voices loud and threatening. "Everybody down," one of them shouted, brandishing a gun. The room erupted in panic. Customers ducked under tables, and the staff froze in fear. The manager, so quick to assert his authority before, cowered behind the counter, his face pale with terror. But she didn't panic. While others were paralyzed, she remained calm, assessing the situation with the precision of a trained soldier. Her eyes darted around the room, taking in every detail, the positions of the robbers, the layout of the diner, potential weapons within reach. One of the men approached her, his gun pointed directly at her. "Give me the money," he barked, his voice laced with menace. She nodded slowly, her hands trembling just enough to convince him she was complying. But inside, her mind was racing. Then, in one swift motion, she grabbed the broom leaning against the wall nearby and swung it with precision. The gun flew out of his hand, clattering to the floor. The entire room gasped. Before the robber could react, she followed up with a move that disarmed him completely, pinning him to the ground with the strength and efficiency of her military training. The second robber, stunned by what he had just witnessed, hesitated. It was a fatal mistake. With the help of a few brave customers, she quickly subdued him as well. The room erupted in applause, relief washing over everyone like a wave. The police arrived moments later, taking the robbers into custody, but the real story was just beginning. As the chaos settled, people started to approach her, their faces full of gratitude and admiration. Customers who had barely noticed her before now couldn't stop praising her bravery. "You saved us," one woman said, tears streaming down her face. Even her co-workers, who had always admired her from a distance, were in awe. But the most surprising reaction came from her manager. For the first time, he was speechless. The man who had spent months tearing her down now stood before her, humbled and ashamed. I didn't know," he stammered. "I'm sorry." "Thank you." By the next morning, her story had gone viral. News outlets picked it up, and social media lit up with posts celebrating her heroism. People from all over the country reached out, sharing messages of support and gratitude. Veterans organizations praised her actions, calling her a shining example of the strength and resilience of those who serve. But for her, the recognition wasn't the point. What mattered most was the reminder that her service, her sacrifice, and her skills still had value. She wasn't just a waitress, she was a warrior, a protector, and a hero. Her story didn't just inspire those in the diner that night, it inspired countless others who heard about it. She showed the world that true strength isn't just about what you do on the battlefield, it's about who you are when the odds are stacked against you. If this story moved you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. Your support allows us to continue sharing powerful stories like this one. Let's honor the everyday heroes who walk among us and remind the world of the incredible strength of our veterans. Thank you for watching.